section, we're going to do standing up yoga. So as always, we always start off with stretching. We can start off with our legs. So we put our legs straight in front of us and reach as far as you can. If you can't touch your toes, that's okay, but if you can, that's even better. And I'm just going to hold this for about 5 seconds. And then I'm going to switch. Do my left leg. And then switch again and do my right leg. And then I'm going to do this stretch. So lean forward as far as I can. Alright, now we're going to stand up and we're going to stretch one leg at a time. Hold your arm out for balance if you need to. I'm going to swap sides and do my other leg. Sometimes it helps if you look at something in the distance, or you just look at one point, it helps you to balance. Alright, give my legs a shake. Now I'm going to stretch my arms. So first I'm going to stretch my left arm, bring it across my body, and pull it with the opposite. Now I'm going to swap sides and do the same thing with my other arm. This is good for stretching your shoulders. Okay, so now that we're all stretched, we're ready to begin our yoga session. So our first pose is called the dancer pose. We're going to stand with our feet flat on the ground. We're going to hold one arm out to the side and the other arm up. Okay? And then we're going to bring our leg behind ourselves. We're going to hold it with our arm and try to push out. Use your leg to push out against your hand. And then slowly, we're going to lean forward. Alright? So right now I'm pushing with this leg. Balancing my other leg. Okay, once you've done that, you can swap sides and do the same thing with the other arm. So this one goes up, this one goes out, put our leg back. Now I'm pushing out with my leg and I'm leaning forward. This can be really tricky when you're trying to balance, but the more you practice, the better you get at it. So the dancer pose is really good for learning how to balance. It also helps to stretch our legs and it opens our chest and shoulders. So now we're going to do what's called the dog pose. I'm going to get down on my hands and my knees and I'm going to tuck my toes underneath. And then I'm going to reach up, stretch the back of my legs. We all know that dogs usually like to wag their tails, so we can use one leg, give it a wag. That can be our dog tail. As I'm doing this, I can feel a really nice stretch in my opposite leg. Now we're going to swap sides and we're going to do the same thing with our other leg. So I'm going to wag with my left while I feel a stretch in my right. This is a really good exercise to do when you wake up in the morning. It's good because it stretches our legs, it stretches our arms, and also since we're upside down, it helps to get a lot of fresh oxygen to our brain. So if you're feeling tired, it's a good way of waking yourself up and feeling refreshed. Our next exercise is called the Dragonfly Pose. So for this one, we're going to start laying down on the ground. I've got my hands underneath my shoulders and I'm going to bring one leg, I'll bring this leg up and then I'm going to use my opposite foot to bring it under my knee and help me lift. So I'm going to bring my head up, point my toes to the sky and I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to swap sides and do the same thing with the other side. So I bring my left leg up, my right foot under my left knee, and I'm going to help to push it up. So this exercise really helps to stretch our hips and our legs, and it also helps to strengthen, and it's a good way of stretching the front of our body as well. Now we're going to move on to the Dolphin Pose. So for this one, I'm going to be on my elbows and my knees, and I'm going to rock forward, hold it, and then rock back. And I'm going to rock forward and back. So this one is like when you see a dolphin diving in and out of the waves, and it's really good for strengthening our shoulders. It makes our core more flexible, and it's good for stretching our legs too. The next pose we have is called the deer pose. So this one, we're going to sit down on our bottoms on the ground, and we're going to bring my right leg up. I'm going to put it across my body. I'm going to bring my opposite arm like this, and I'm going to look out as far as I can behind me, just like a deer would in the wild when they're trying to be alert and see if there's anything chasing them. I'm going to hold that for a while, and I'm going to swap sides. I'm going to do the same thing with my opposite leg. Bring it across my body, opposite arm, and look behind me. So this is a really good pose for if you want to be more flexible in your back, in your leg, in your shoulders, and in your arms. This one is called the door pose. So as you can see from this one, we're going to start on our knees. I'm going to bring one foot out to the side. I'm going to put my other hand down here. I'm going to bring my left arm up. And then I'm going to stretch. Right now I can feel my sides stretching. So I'm going to hold that for 5 seconds. And then I'm going to swap and do the same thing with the other side. So bring my leg out, stretch my side. So as you feel your side stretching, you should be able to feel more room in your chest, so it helps you to breathe and take in more oxygen. This is a sport that's really good. It stretches your legs, it stretches your sides. I usually like to do this before I play sport. So before my soccer games, I always make sure I do this stretch. Now I'm going to do the Flamingo Pose. So for the Flamingo Pose, I'm going to put one arm up into the sky. This is my big flamingo neck, standing nice and tall. And then I'm going to bring my other foot. Then I'm going to stretch it as much as I can. So I'm going to hold this for 5 seconds. And then I'm going to swap sides and do the same thing. So now my other arm is going to be my big flamingo neck. I'm going to stretch my leg. Right now I can feel a lot of stretch in my quads, which is your big muscles in the front of your thighs. This is a really good exercise to do that will help you balance. So I'm balancing with my left foot. It's good for strengthening your ankles, and also good for stretching your legs. So see if you can do that on both sides for 5 seconds each. So now I'm going to do the eagle pose. For the eagle pose, I'm going to squat down a little bit like I'm sitting down. I'm going to lift one leg while I'm balancing. I'm going to bring it across. I'm going to stand on my tippy toes with my left leg and flat on my right leg. And then I'm going to bring my arms out in front of me. I'm going to crisscross them. Hold them out in front of me, and now I'm just going to sit down a little bit further down. Alright, so now it's like I'm a proud eagle sitting inside my nest, watching my surroundings. I'm trying very hard to balance. This is really helping me with my strength. So it's building up strength in one leg, and it's also helping me with my balance and my focus. Once you get good at doing it on one side, and you're balancing well, you swap and do the same thing on the other side. So the left foot stays firm on the ground. I'm going to bend a little bit, use my right foot, balance, crisscross my arms. I'm going to sit further down. Oh. It's okay, if you make a mistake, you can just start again. Do it again. Same thing again. Bend down. I'm working very hard to balance right now. I'm trying my hardest to concentrate and focus. So I'm going to see if I can hold this for 30 seconds. This is our last pose and it's called the fish pose. So for the fish pose, I'm going to sit down flat on the ground. I'm going to bring my elbows down, I'm going to lie down. And then I'm going to start looking backwards and I'm going to bring my chest up as far as I can to the sky. So as I'm doing this, I'm taking in deep breaths and I'm trying to look as far back as I can behind me. This is a really good exercise for opening up your chest. It helps to strengthen your arms. And I like to do this exercise if I'm ever feeling nervous. It's a good pose to do. It helps you with your breathing and it helps get rid of your nerves. So when you're doing all of these poses and activities, it's always good to remember you need to focus on your breathing. Deep breaths in, exhaling. You need to be mindful of your surroundings. It's always nice to do it somewhere where there's nature and you can listen to the birds and the trees. And yoga is always a good idea to do in the morning because it helps to make your body more flexible. It helps with your strength, and it's a good way to start your day.